Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Weddings Done Right Radio, the how-to for the I do. My name is Jodi Harris. I am a Las Vegas event professional here for Sight and Sound events in Las Vegas, and I'm also the CEO of Fun. And today we have an awesome show. I have a wonderful guest with me. This show is probably one of our more popular podcast shows, because this is where we actually talk to a newlywed, somebody who just recently got married. And I'm super excited to talk to Christine today. Christine, welcome to Weddings Done Right.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, awesome. So glad you're here. So, Christine, the big question. When was your wedding day?
It was actually July 21st, so less than 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yes,
so
we're fresh.
We're fresh. It's all still in your mind,
yes.
right? You do remember, right? Okay.
Yes,
She's
I do.
Like, damn.
I do.
That's awesome. All right. So again, this is one of our more popular ones, and the whole reason why I have you here today is because I want you to share your experiences, the good, the bad, and what would you do differently, with some of the couples that are listening to the show. So, wedding was 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
How long when did you start planning for your wedding? How many months did you have before the day?
We started planning in about March, so we didn't have the full year. This was neither one of our first marriages, so we've kind of done this before, and I work in a similar industry, so I had a little bit of knowledge going into it, so I didn't feel we didn't need the full year. And
sure.
Yeah.
So. And when it came down to finding a venue, when it came down to selecting vendors, did you do a lot of homework? Did you look at websites? Did you go to bridal shows?
Like I said, luckily I'm in the industry, so I know a lot of industry people. And the venue, actually, they have a preferred venue list. Mm-hmm. So these are people that they work with on a regular basis. These are people who are proven professionals. These are people who know the properties, who know the venues. So we really kind of went with that. And everything worked out really well because they know what they're doing. And it was very seamless. Every vendor that I used, from DJ to decor, photographer, all of it went really smoothly. So I would definitely recommend, if your venue has a preferred vendor list, to go with that, because those people are on there for a reason. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Tell me, what about websites? Were you a Pinterest person? Did you get inspiration? Did you find any inspiration anywhere?
I did. I love Pinterest. I'm kind of a craft junkie. It's embarrassing to say, but yeah. But no, I love Pinterest, and so I did a lot of that. Also did some things on Wedding Wire, just to kind of look at different ideas and things that other brides have done, sure, to get some inspiration. Awesome. So a little bit, sure.
That's great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's important just to get an idea.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, this was your second time around, and I'm sure you learned a few lessons from the first time, right? And that you made
many.
Yeah, that you would.
Yeah.
That you didn't want to repeat, or and nowadays, I mean, I don't know, weddings are so different. They change all the time.
They are.
One of the things that we even talked about prior to putting you on the show, tell us a little bit about, like, even the invite. You even have an invite story. So kind of tell the listeners about the wedding invitations.
Well, so, we decided to be, trendy and forego the traditional paper invitations in the mail. And we had a lot of information that we wanted to get out as well. So you can't necessarily put all of that in an envelope and get that to people. So what we did is a wedding website, which also served as the invitation. The only problem, and we really didn't think this through, was that, not everybody, your aunties, your grandmother, your family friends that are older, even some that are younger, they're not always that tech savvy. So we actually had a lot of issues with the site, and people couldn't figure it out. They couldn't open it. They couldn't figure out how to RSVP. There was a number of things that, so I think a wedding website is a beautiful thing, and it would serve a purpose, but I think it needs to be a secondary. So I think people just need that paper in hand still. And then, you can do that like I said, as a secondary thing, as but not your primary source of the invitation and your RSVPs, because we had to kind of hunt people down that we knew were coming because they didn't RSVP through the site because they couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I
So
think it's great because
yeah.
nowadays we live in such a tech world,
Right.
right?
Right.
And you're thinking, oh, I'm going to save some money. I don't have to wait for
Yeah.
our, but and then you wind up
It,
calling people, right, just to see if they were coming.
exactly.
How many people
Yeah.
did you have at your wedding?
We had a little over 100.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice,
Yeah.
very
So
cool. That's very cool.
yeah.
And as far as like the day itself, how involved was your husband in the wedding planning?
You know what? He's one of these guys. It's like, tell me where to be, and I'll be there. But
Good.
and I would try to run that. Well, what do you think about this? What do you? And he, it's up to you. Yeah, you take it. I'll show up. I'll pay for it. So yeah, so that was kind of which is fine. That's our dynamic, and it worked, and
Sure.
so
Sure.
yeah.
And it was mostly all family that was invited to your wedding?
It was a lot of family. It was probably 50-50. So probably, 50% family, 50% friends.
Got it. Got
Yeah.
it. As far as like the wedding reception goes, I mean,
Mhm.
if you could think of like one thing that you could have changed at the reception, what would
Mhm.
it have been? Well, did you have a open bar, a cash
We
bar?
did.
Okay, open
Yeah.
bar.
So
Okay,
so
that's
we
good.
did. We had you got to kind of prioritize things when you're doing your budgeting, and we wanted our celebration to be, it was definitely non-traditional. It wasn't the sit-down dinner. It was later in the evening. So we had, hot and cold hors d'oeuvres, and we wanted an upgraded premium bar. Um, and we chose to do our bar on consumption, meaning we only pay for what is consumed, with the idea that our older family members wouldn't drink much. Well, we were, let's
You
say
were
we were
pleasantly
surprised,
surprised.
unpleasantly surprised.
Oh, well, sure.
Yeah. So the bill ended up being like about double what we expected it to be, which was fine. I mean,
Right.
obviously everybody had a great time.
Yeah.
But yeah, hindsight, we maybe would have done something different, possibly drink coupons, or, we kind of didn't want to do that. But if, just whatever you expect your people to drink, just double it. So, and then consider that in your budget. And if you need to do, something different or something alternative, then I don't think there's a problem with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So,
One of the things you were talking about was that you had your ceremony at one location and
uh-huh.
had your reception at another,
Yes.
and that you said some of the guests kind of got a little lost going to the second.
No. Going to because it was all housed in the same building.
Okay. So it was in the.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Duh. Okay,
yeah.
it was in the same building. Okay.
But some people, it was on the strip,
Uh-huh.
which on a Saturday night, which I know, and I apologize.
No,
But
hey, it's your day.
yeah, but we wanted to have a fun, lively venue location, which we definitely did. But some people, they get lost no matter what. So everyone eventually found their way.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah,
Did you do a lot of photos? Like one of
we
the
did. Yeah.
common things I hear from a lot of the couples is that they feel like they really didn't have too much time to enjoy their wedding reception because
Yeah.
photos. Tell me about.
We definitely felt like that, for sure. I felt like we were doing 2 solid hours of photos,
Right.
where, we kind of wanted to get the party started. We wanted to get in there. We wanted to mix and mingle. So, I mean, it's going to be great when we get our photos.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I'm sure that we'll be thankful that we did take the time to do all these photos and do photos with our guests. But it did take a little bit of time
Of
that I
course.
wish we could have knocked it down maybe like 30 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you didn't do photos obviously prior to the ceremony, which
We
maybe would
yeah.
maybe that's a cool
That
takeaway
might
for a couple,
yeah,
right? To do
yeah.
maybe some photos before.
Definitely. Or, what we're actually considering doing, because we didn't get a ton of photos, together, and then with our kids. So together we have 4 kids. So I
Oh,
have
nice.
2 kids, he has 2 kids. So we're sort of a blended family. So what we might do is actually go back and
That's awesome.
do a photo shoot there. But yeah, I might recommend, to brides, to do a pre-ceremony photo shoot,
Hmm.
because you've already got your hair, your makeup,
Hmm.
all that stuff. That way, your guests aren't waiting around so much because they're all kind of like, okay, but,
Right,
when
right.
are they coming in? Let's
Yeah.
get this started. Yeah. So, yeah, hindsight, I might have done that. We might have done that prior.
Awesome. And
Yeah,
you did have a photo booth there,
we
I noticed.
did.
So that
We
kind of
did.
also did that photo booth actually
Yeah.
open like when the reception
It
started?
did,
So okay, cool.
yeah. So it was fun. That I highly recommend. It was so much fun, and we were laughing hysterically reviewing all of these pictures, and you could see as the night progressed, the photos and the bar, was flowing. The photos got funnier and funnier.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
no,
That's
it was a ton of fun, and then the photo booth had the option to do the boomerang and the GIF,
yeah.
and so people were putting stuff online immediately,
Oh,
and
good.
it was just so much fun. Yeah,
Awesome.
and I think people let loose a little bit more um, in that, and they have fun photos
Abs-
versus the posed, yes.
Absolutely. Um,
So,
did now another regret I hear from couples is I
uh,
never had an opportunity to take a photo in the photo booth with my husband. Did you get one?
we did not. No, because you don't realize how much you're going to be pulled in a million different directions, and you think you've got time for all that, and then before you know it, you're playing the last song.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that would definitely be a regret, is that we didn't just take the time to make a stop there and do a quick little,
Yeah.
just one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
That's yeah, yeah. I always hear that. I always hear that.
yeah.
Now, was your wedding videotaped as well, or
Uh,
reception? Was anything
We
videotaped?
did a ceremony
Oh, okay.
video,
Awesome.
and I haven't seen it yet because it takes like a month or two.
Yeah, it takes
But
time.
now I'm super glad that we did, because there's moments, of course, that you don't get to see as the bride. So we actually used our sons and daughters as our bridesmaids and groomsmen. So I didn't, obviously I didn't get to see them walk down the aisle. So little moments like that. And then I think too, there's so much going on, and you're trying to you know keep it all together, and you miss little things that happen. So yeah, I can't wait to see the video. We were just talking about that
Oh,
last
that's
night.
awesome.
Yeah.
And as far as like any trends, I mean, obviously we talked a little bit about the photo booth.
Mhm.
Was there anything that you did that might be I saw uplight. I was at your
Mhm.
wedding, obviously. I
Yes.
showed up. I went to her wedding. And I noticed that you had beautiful uplighting in your room, which is really
Mhm.
makes a difference. Were you happy with the way that
I
room like
was.
glowed?
Yeah, it had this, like, this ambient glow, and so it was just beautiful. And we did the, specialty linens, and I think all those things, and special chairs, because sometimes the venues have the standard banquet chairs. So we did the upgraded chairs,
Nice.
the upgraded linens, and the uplights, and it just all makes such a big impact. So it was
Absolutely.
beautiful.
So
Yeah.
my next question to you is, did you actually eat on your wedding day?
I did not. I did not.
That's another
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. And we talked about that before, and we're like, okay, we're gonna sit down and eat. And actually, the banquet staff had set up a little plate. Like I said, we didn't do a full sit down, but we
Sure.
did the hors d'oeuvres. So they had set up on our sweetheart table plates with all of the
Yeah.
options on them. And every time we would start to head over to that sweetheart table, we would get pulled in another direction. And so by the time we actually got to it, our food was cold, and yeah, so we said, okay, forget
And it was just
it.
because
Yeah,
it was just all like just
it was.
overwhelming,
It
right? I mean,
it
it was just
was.
every
Yeah,
yeah,
it
just
was
people
just.
pulling and taking how
Yeah.
many like just
Oh
people
my
with their
gosh.
camera with their phone cameras. How many
Oh my
photos did
gosh.
you get that day?
Oh, well, and this is another funny or not funny situation, but
Uh-huh.
so we actually had requested for the ceremony that people not take photos, that and we worded it very nice, very eloquently, please,
Unplugged, right?
unplugged, yeah,
Unplugged.
unplugged ceremony, and please put your phones and your cameras away and be present, and we'll promise to share our photos with you.
Yeah.
And so, of course, as I'm walking down the aisle, I see 6 or 7 phones out. And then the crazy part was, one of our guests that we're, honestly not very even close with, it's like a second cousin, posted our entire ceremony on his Facebook page. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So Yeah. So one thing I would definitely say, if that is important to you, because people I don't think do that sort of thing intentionally. They think they're helping you out, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
But so hindsight, I would have had someone, whether it was the pastor, aunt, uncle, friend,
Yeah.
get before the ceremony started, get on and say, please be present and don't take photos and
Sure.
videos. And we got a whole crew here, so we got
Absolutely.
you covered, and we'll share it with you. So
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah. And
so
like you said, I think they mean
they
well, but
do.
it's your moment. And
Yeah.
again, you had an amazing photographer,
Yes.
at your event. And I know
Yeah.
like as an event planner myself and as an MC, I know that like especially cake cutting, when it comes to that cake cutting, everybody's cameras go out.
Yeah.
A good MC will always say something to the
Yeah.
effect like, "Hey guys, I know you want to take a photo.
All
Let our
right.
professional photographer get his shot
Yes.
first,
Yes.
and then just go for it because that's why
Exactly.
you pay the money. You pay
Exactly.
the money to have a professional
Right,
photographer there.
right.
So
Yeah, and I think at one point, so mainly just the ceremony was what I didn't want people taking photographs of. But my photographer was really good, and there was a couple of points where he like for
sure,
the cake cutting,
yeah,
and people were getting it here, and so he actually did say something like, "Okay, just
yeah,
so,
yeah,
but very professionally and politely
yeah,
and whatever." But
absolutely.
yeah, but I think people
I
they don't realize,
They don't. They don't. And
and
that's becoming
yeah,
so common, Christine, that
I know,
couples actually have little signs that say our
yeah,
ceremony is unplugged.
unplugged.
Feel free to take pictures of the reception, but
Yes.
during the ceremony,
Yes.
no photos,
So
please.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it can be overstated because I just,
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
Did you do wedding favors or anything like
No,
tchotchkes? I mean,
you
the
know
photo
what?
booth was probably
Yeah,
the
we
takeaway.
we really didn't. We kind of we're all non-traditional, and just wanted to have a party, a
Yeah.
celebration.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, if you had to do it over again, and you
Uh-huh.
kind of touched on this, and I know we did talk about the thing.
Yeah.
What would it be if you had to do that one thing over again? What would it be? And you might have answered the question already.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think my biggest regret was that my husband and I didn't get a chance to dance more. So I think if we had taken the photos prior to the ceremony, that would have freed up some time, and we would have been able to actually enjoy our reception and kind of,
Yeah,
get in a few dances in, and
awesome.
so that would probably be aside from the other things. Yeah.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then on closing, because I appreciate you doing this so much for
Sure.
me.
Absolutely.
Biggest advice again. You've given advice, so I kind of feel like I'm repeating myself. But like, right now to a couple. What would you tell them? What would you tell them about the wedding day now that you've
Mhm.
experienced it?
I think that so many couples get caught up with traditions and what they think that they have to do, and they feel like they have to go down this checklist of, okay, we have to do the mother son dance, we have to do the money dance, we have to do, and if that's important to you, then do it. But don't feel like you are obligated to do all those things. It's your day, do what you want to do, and don't feel like you have to stay so traditional. Because we certainly didn't, and we had a great time. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that is the best way to close that out. Awesome. All
Yeah.
right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to thank you, Christine, for
Of
coming in,
course.
and
Of course. My pleasure.
congratulations on the wedding.
Thank you.
I can't wait to
Thank
see the
you.
video.
I know, me too.
That's awesome. And you really helped a lot of people, just
Good.
having this casual conversation with me
Yeah.
really just, you helped a lot of people. So once again, I am Jodi Harris, CEO of Fun, co-host of Weddings Done Right, the how-to for the I Do. Please, when you're watching this video, listening to our podcast, please make sure you like us. Maybe comment, throw a comment or two in, subscribe. That way you guys get notified when we have our next show. But please share the love. Tell somebody you like a lot. Hopefully we helped you. If you want to get in touch with me, of course, all my contact information will be in the show description. So once again, Christine, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody, have a wonderful wedding day. Thank you.